When it comes to the Browns organization, do you think that they're equipped to nurture a unique talent like him?
Who knows what's going on in that building?
I mean, you've been busy. You joined the podcasting world, get to talk to tons of athletes and current former athletes. So, what's life been like for you being able to do this? It seems like a dream job.
I think I had my favorite week of the podcast the last 2 weeks. I got to sit down with Cam Newton, who to me is an idol, a legend, somebody I've always really looked up to. And our relationship has really blossomed and developed over the last couple years. So somebody I love truly, truly, just dearly. What an amazing person. And then I sat down with Anthony Rizzo as well, who I remember watching the World Series whenever the Cubs won. A true guy's guy, and to be able for him to sit down and really share some stories throughout those times. For me, whenever guys get in the chair like that, who are eager and like want to speak and
Right.
tell the stories and have a good time and just be one of the boys and chop it up. For me, it is a dream job.
And it's got to be kind of therapeutic too, being able to like talk about things that you might not normally get to talk about and to be able to share it with others. It's got to be really nice for you as well in that sense.
Yeah, I think I'm getting to a point now where I'm starting to open up a little bit more and share a little bit about, even though I've told a lot of my story and spoken a lot about it, and it does get maybe repetitive at times. I think, whenever you have some crossover that correlates into what I've gone through and other guys have gone through, whether it's, the same sport playing football or different or whatever, the athletes go through a similar journey in a lot of areas. So, it's fun, and I think the more that I do it, the more comfortable I'm getting, and the more fun that it's becoming.
Turning to some NFL storylines here, of course, got to talk about the Browns and the early career of Shedeur Sanders. I know there are some parallels to how you joined the Browns, seeing as both of you guys had tons of extra attention on you, more than other players. Do you think? How do you feel like Shedeur's handled being in the spotlight? How he's handled things so far, whether it's on the field or on the podium?
Yeah, listen, I think he's done an amazing job from the day that he's got there. I think he is, he's unique. He beats to his own drum. He's going to be different than a lot of guys that you're going to see around the league. But, the one thing, knowing his family, knowing his dad for a long time, well prepared for the moment, well prepared for everything that comes with being in the NFL and playing the quarterback position. So
Yeah.
I think for him, he's done the right thing every step of the way. At the same time, you want to continue to be yourself, right? You don't want to change what's made you great and something that's ingrained in your DNA. So I think for him, looking at it from an outside perspective, somebody that obviously has ties to Cleveland, just keep going, keep balling, keep trying to get better. And, eventually his day is going to come to where he is the starter there. And, hopefully he can make the most of it. And he's got people excited.
Yeah. When it comes to the Browns organization, do you think that they're equipped to nurture a unique talent like him?
Who knows what's going on in that building? I mean, from my time there, yeah, it was
Oh,
a
I'm crying.
interesting experience, but maybe throughout the years things have changed and they've got a little bit better handle on things. But and until they have some success and change the mantra around there, there's definitely still a cloud hanging over.
Yeah. I know it's kind of hard to, pinpoint why, but I would love for you to help me make sense of it with the quarterback situation and how they had Flacco and Pickett on the depth chart, and then drafting Dylan Gabriel ahead of him. How they've handled the quarterback room. How do you feel about that, and or could you kind of make sense of why they maybe went that way?
Yeah, I think obviously with Deshaun being hurt and you don't know when he's going to be back or exactly what it is, I think you have to get guys in there and let them compete, right? You have to get
Yeah.
two rookies and have a Kenny Pickett, a guy who was drafted in the first round, see if he can come back and make some magic happen. It was a guy who was, had high expectations. Then you have a guy like Joe Flacco. You got to see what he's done
Yeah.
in the last years and still being able to play at a good enough level to be able to go out and win ball games. But for the most part, the way I would see it is, um, toss these four guys in a room, let them battle it out. Competition is always a good thing. It's something you're going to see. You get a chance to learn from each other through other people's reps because you're not going to always get, the lion's share. But um,
Yeah.
in the NFL, there is one thing that is true, and it's, um, you can't go do what you want to do if you don't have a guy at the quarterback position, who's making plays and making things happen. It's just, you see teams struggle, and you have to have a guy. So, put four guys in there, and a fifth one that's coming back, and try to get as many guys as you can to try to make something shake.
Yeah. I know you talked about possibly playing again at some point, but would you want to join the Browns quarterback depth chart right now with what's going
No,
on?
I think my time in Berea is came and went. As much as I, speak about Cleveland and always will probably have a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth with how things went. I want the best for them. I hope they do well. I know, throughout the years, whenever Baker was there, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Um, I can't believe they let him go somewhere else. They had their guy, and now he's kind of making them eat it. So, wish them the
Mhm.
best. Hope they figure it out. Hope Shedeur or Dylan or Sean or whoever it may be, is able to go out and help them win some ball games. And even though I haven't said the best things about Cleveland all the time, I guess it's all love.
It makes me think too what's going on in the mind of a guy like Cam Ward, where he's got like no almost no attention on him. He's got to be on cloud nine. Just gets to kind of go out there and do what he does best. How do you think he's feeling right now?
Yeah, no, I think with from the attention aspect, it's got to be great that it's somewhere else. But I think he's still going through what everybody goes through as a rookie, which is, going through some situations where you haven't been in before, and you struggle a little bit. And you're going to have days where you walk off the practice field and you're like, man, that was a brutal one. And then you're going to have those moments throughout camp where you make some really good throws and you feel like you're gaining confidence and things are going well. So, listen, he's, obviously was taken first in a good situation in Tennessee. It'll probably take a little bit of time for him to, uh, be exactly what they want him to be, but, um, being around him this year at the Heisman and his family, I think he's an amazing kid. I think he has all the expectation and hope in the world to go be the player that he wants to be. So, I wish him the best. I'm definitely going to be watching because he's an awesome dude.
Yeah. Talking about the college landscape here very quickly, I want to start with obviously the explosion of NIL. We have millionaires entering not just the NFL, but all professional sports. And I know you probably talked about this before, but thinking about had that been a thing when you were in college, are there any fun things that you're like, oh, wow, this would have been a cool thing to be able to do with NIL had that been a possibility
Yeah,
when it
I
played?
think it would have been crazy just to be able to go on your spring break and take a private jet and take all your boys and not even have to worry about a single thing.
Right.
It's a different world that they're living in. I pull up to the athletic facility at A&M and you just see the cars, and I'm like, this is a lot
Crazy.
different than whenever I was in school for sure. So, hopefully the guys are able to keep the main thing, and realize that, like, a very few percentage of players in college football are going to get an opportunity to go play in the NFL.
Yeah.
How amazing is it that you may not get that chance to go play in the NFL, but you can have $1 million in your bank account when you're done playing college football? It sets you up
Right.
for your life, or whatever job or career you may be going on to next.
Yeah. Last one here for you. So, uh, what would you say if you had to? The top five earners would be in college football, starting maybe in the 2000s, had NIL been a thing.
I
Do a
think
little
you
power
put me.
rankings
I
with
think you
you.
put me up there. I think you put Reggie Bush up there for sure. I think Tebow was a guy that would have made an absolute killing. Um,
Facts.
Man, who else do I think would have done really, really well? Cam for sure, polarizing. And I think
What do you think about like Matt Leinart?
Matt Leinert's a good one, but I think also Vince Young. Vince Young was a guy who really
Vince
moved the
Young.
needle a lot too, especially being in the state of Texas, that national championship run. If you look at my list, I think it's me, Reggie Bush, Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, and Vince.